All right. Well, and we're going to get started for the sake of time and just to respect your time. My name is Emmanuel Perez. I'm the operations manager here at the NSU Innovation Center. And this is our new series that we're kicking off called AI Tips for Entrepreneurs, where we want to share very briefly just very useful AI tools that aren't super complicated to use and can help improve your workflows as an innovator and entrepreneur for yourself, for your business, for your team, and for your clients. And one tool that we're going to go over today is Granola AI. It's a tool that we use here at the Innovation Center. It's a lifesaver. I, for one, am pretty challenged by taking notes and listening actively at the same time. I want to make sure I'm staying present while taking notes. And I also don't want to, I think in this AI age, sometimes it can be obtrusive when you see different AI note takers enter in your Google Meet or your Zoom or here in Microsoft Teams. So to try to make things as humanly connected as possible, I think Granola AI has solved that and filled in that gap with their tool. So without further ado, I'm going to start the presentation. If you have any questions at all, feel free to type it below in the chat, or you can come off mute and speak up freely. And Dr. Kosi, did you want to say anything before we begin? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, the famous words. And so we're going to start with an overview with Granola. So as they say in their title, it's a notepad for people in back-to-back meetings. And it's great because once you install it, you can install it for free. It's free to use with a few limitations. But once you have it installed on your computer, it can instantly detect, and once you sync it in with your accounts, it can instantly detect once you have a meeting up and rolling. Um, and so it can take things like if you take notes, like I love Apple Notes. Apple Notes is my go-to for taking notes. If you take regular notes, it can work with your regular note-taking style and improve them with an AI enhancement. With notes on, so for example, for this note, it took 100 growing, used the AI, very manual for this intro call that this person is having into this with context from that actual meeting. And so it's super intelligent. You can always revert back to the original notes too, which is nice. Um, it doesn't record the audio, but it only records the transcription. And so, yeah, rather than, I guess, going through the whole site, I'll go ahead and show you an example of what that looks like in the actual app. So I'm going to move this screen out of the way and pull up my own Granola here. So this is what the app looks like. I'm actually recording this session now on Granola to share later. But how we use it at the NSU Innovation Center is we're going to go over our event series that we're doing right now, actually. Um, we're having these 8-week startup studio that's ongoing now. It's for one of our programs. And every week we have questions from our entrepreneurs and participants within the program that are currently enrolled about what was said or some of the content they may have missed, or somebody came in late, they might want to catch up. So for Granola, we have it running in the background. And here's an example of what those meeting notes look like. So for one, you can see everybody that's invited on the calendar for that meeting, and anybody who's CC'd, who's directly got sent the meeting invite. And you can see how it just very cleanly summarizes the meeting notes from all of our key speakers and presenters and the content given. One of my favorite features that I like is you can double click on content to expand and see what was said from that transcript. And so it's super helpful if there's something you heard in a meeting. I know for myself, my audio learning skills are not the best. I'm a visual learner first and then kinesthetic, and audio is like dead last. But I might pick up on keywords here and there. And so if there's a question I have about something, I can ask within the chat here and ask what was something interesting about the last presenter. And Granola will reference the transcript um, to say more about this is an example that our last presenter, Warren Horton, used that he tied in with his presentation. So if I ask more, I can say who was this presenter. And Granola should be able, yep, so we've got it here, Warren Horton. And so it's super smart because it can work with you. Because before this meeting actually started, I listed out each of these three speakers here. And so um, I think it's one of my favorite parts because, especially for meetings, if you have action items for participants, especially, you can share the meeting notes as a live link. So if I copy this link here to the top right and press that button and open up a new tab, it's a little bit bigger. I can see the transcript here, but if for somebody, I'm already logged in. So for someone that's a new user to Granola, I'm just going to swipe left to a guest tab. This is what they'll be presented once you share with your team or someone outside your organization or a client. They get access to almost a similar view where they can ask questions on the right-hand side. Granola also includes these really cool things called recipes over here on the right-hand side, that you can use to ask things like action items. So if I'm a participant in the Innovation Central Startup Studio program, here's essentially my homework to do for my next meeting. It's great because all of this is backed up by the actual transcript. The AI is not hallucinating. It's not making up any data. All this information is coming from the transcript from the actual meeting. And yes, Granola is free to use. This is their pricing is available. It's here. It's also available for Windows devices as well as Mac devices, and they also have an app you can use on your phone too. So these are the comparisons between the basic business plan and enterprise plan. And I think because it's in the background, nobody knows that they're being recorded. But to say this in the most professional way possible, if you're recording someone, please use your best judgment to let them know. Yes, so I started with using the free version before I upgraded to the business version. The basic version I think, is just as good as the free version, except you have a limited number of notes. I think you get 15 for free that you can keep forever until it starts to roll over. Um, and I think now they have a limited meeting history. But it's amazing because let's say if you're working on a project, and I'll use this for my personal self because I'm also an entrepreneur along with working at the innovation center full time. So for one of my clients, I'll go ahead and go back. Let's go and search it up here. So I was working with Operation Smile on a project to build them a dashboard for their community engagement team. And a lot of information was presented in this meeting. And it's the client wanted a lot of things done for their dashboard. They wanted an MVP. They were in Google Sheets, and I'm trying my best to stay present in the moment with my client, Melanie, and at the same time, I also wanted to make sure, like after the meeting was over, like okay, I have ADHD. Like, what's the most important thing that I need to do? And so you can look through the actual transcript to see what was said from both parties, or if you have more than one party, you can see what was said from your side and from the other side, which is nice. You could copy this text if you wanted to and paste it into something like ChatGPT or another app, and ask it questions that way. On that, I don't even do that anymore. I do it all within Granola now. So for me, I just copy this link if I want to send her the meeting notes, or in the chat, I can ask, what does Melanie really want? Because when you're working with clients, a lot of the times they're going to give you a lot of information. Um, and usually it can be hard to distinguish between like what's a priority and what's not a priority. And so if when you go through the transcript or have the AI go crawl through transcript for you, I find this to be super useful. Um, and it's been a lifesaver for me because I've gotten comments all the time like, "Oh wow, like you're a really good listener. I'm so glad you caught that." And I'm like, "Hey, it was all Granola. It wasn't me." So that's a very useful thing for me. Do we have any questions before we continue the presentation?
Yes, hi, this is Danita. I have a question. You said that most people they don't know that it's in the background. So what do you do like when you're in a meeting or something, you just open up Granola in the web browser and it just starts.
That's correct. Yeah. So Granola, if you have it downloaded on a computer and you have connected to your account. So for example, I've connected to my Google Meet account through my Google Calendar. Um, Once it knows the meeting is about to start, it will give a pop-up to start the meeting and start Granola in the background at the same time. But in certain states have certain laws too. So I believe in the state of Virginia, in the state of Virginia, um, you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not required to let the other party know that you're recording the meeting. But it is, the software does urge you to announce if you're recording. So as a good practice, I usually announce that I'm recording the meeting or ask permission to record this transcription because it doesn't record a voice. So um, most people are comfortable with it, but it's always, I think, a good and a green flag to let them know.
That's not my concern there or whatever. Of letting them know. Yes, I just wanted to know how did it actually work if you're, several people that's in the meeting you doing it. I know like with if you're doing it in Zoom, other thing it automatically pops up and everyone kind of like knows. So I was just trying to figure out how do you do it, if, especially if you're like you're not running the meeting. If like in a situation like it is now, say like even though you have Granola up and you're recording, and say if I want to record the notes too, I'm just trying to figure out. You just go into and you just open up from the web browser and it starts from there.
It won't start from the web browser. You would have to have the app installed on your device for it to start.
Okay. So you need to okay.
Yes, I hope that can help answer your question. Yes. Oh, yes. So Stephanie Moore says it seems that they should not take the risk for recording. A recorder's auto announce. Or something new in Virginia, only one party needs to consent to being recorded, which means that the person recording does not have to get permission from the person they are recording if they are a part of the conversation. It's because you, the recorder, are consenting to the recording. Okay. I appreciate you enlightening us with that fact, Stephanie. We appreciate that. Um, and yeah, it is a thing of ethics for the state of AI meeting recorders and AI notes, because some have ease of use, some are intrusive and can kind of get in the way. And so I think it is comes down to a personal preference. Yeah, and being sure to notify the other party that you are recording just as as good ethics and doing good business, in my own opinion. If you're also using the tool, if you want to send notes quick or follow up meeting or items quick, for example, let's pull up the Start Studio Week 2 session. You can easily share the notes with others instead of sending the link. You could press the button here and you can type in an email address, or for people that are already invited onto that calendar link for that meeting, you can send it out this way via email. And yeah, you can also stream private notes and enhanced notes with a click of a button. And there is a recipe feature here on the bottom right. And these recipes are kind of like prompts that are pre-installed. So for one, to write a follow-up email, this is super useful. Um, if you work in cybersecurity or in digital forensics, there's a red team prompt. Um, you can make your own uh, recipes, which are basically just pre-filled prompts to do things faster. And so if I were to do this, write a follow-up email, we're basically just sending a prompt to the AI, and it will return back a follow-up email template here that we can send out to um, everyone on the call. And we can edit this and tweak it however we'd like. Dr. Kosi says, can you show us how to start meeting notes that are not scheduled? Sure thing. So if we go back to the homepage of the app, to start a new note or yeah, new recording, we just tap over here on the top right, and this will start a new note. I have this one being recorded, so I'll just X this one out, and I'll click resume here, and this will start the new note. And this brings up the pop-up about getting consent before transcribing others, which is a great business practice. And so for the prior meeting, if you want to stop it, you just click here to stop the transcript, but you can also resume it. So for the note we recorded today earlier, these are notes from the past 20 minutes of the meeting. Any questions so far?
Emil, this is Stephanie. I have a question. Um, you mentioned, the pre-prompts that are already there, but for prompts that a user may create on their own and the results that come out of that, does Granola ask for your permission to utilize your results and prompts to help them to continue building their algorithms?
That's a great question. That I'm not too sure about. I did see a feature we can share. You can share your recipe or your prompt with their community to install.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, for one that I use is a PRD prompt, which is a product requirement documents prompt
Mm-hmm.
that I found online within the Granola, within their, I don't want to call it like, I guess their marketplace. Um, but I'm not too sure if these are shared
Mm-hmm.
or not. I think I had to do a little bit more research to check and see if this is shared with the company. But I
Okay.
know if you make anything internal and don't share with the community, it stays private to you and your workspace.
Okay. I know that I've used Claude a couple of times, and I really was appreciative that they asked me. I mean, their ethics are really high. They asked me if I wanted my results and prompts to be included. So I thought that was a pretty good thing for them to stand out from all the other AI tools.
That's amazing to hear. I'm a frequent user of Claude as well. And I do like the way how they handle business interactions.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing.
Hmm.
Do we have any other questions or follow-up notes? And does anybody have any tools that they use now to record their meetings? I know I used to use Otter AI, but then it got just too intrusive for me.
Yes, I was going to say I've used Otter for organizations that I'm a part of. They've asked us not to use recorders because of ethics and, just privacy, trying to keep some of our things associated with our organization to ourselves.
That makes sense. This is also, I think I'll share one more feature which I commonly use Granola for. So for my own business for Exploit, I'm constantly creating prototypes and apps for other people. And so for a friend of mine, for Ryan Taylor, she was working on an app called Host, which she's still actively working on. And we recorded the entire session while she was here at the Innovation Center, and we were like, "Hey, like we should go and get a prototype up." And so we talked for an hour. We took our entire transcript and we asked it to write a product requirements document for this app. Granola went ahead and wrote the entire PRD for the app, and we copied and pasted it into an AI tool called Lovable. And we went ahead and built an MVP based off her 1 hour conversation based on the app that she's been in business, idea that she's had for a few years. And so just to show that I want to go ahead and show off her app that she has. So this was the first iteration of her app. This isn't the final version, but this is what we got up and running within 5 minutes after um, our conversation. So we can tell how her app to plan your perfect event in under 10 minutes. It was something we can get functional and up and running, something to show to customers, to show investors, um, to show potential partners, to show if she was applying for a business incubator or accelerator. She had something super minimal up and running to help busy people, to start their app. And we can see how this product requirements document from June 30th, it's super similar to what just got spit out by Granola here in the chat. So you can go from idea to having a conversation. A lot of us talk about our ideas openly with trusted friends or with consultants. So if you want to build an internal tool or a tool for your customers or a tool for yourself, um, and this process known as vibe coding, you just take that transcript, ask to make a PRD, dump it into a Lovable or a Replit or Bolt.new. It can have something up and running super quick as a prototype. And this is by far one of my favorite feature ever, because now all that energy spent talking or writing notes down on paper and pencil can be transformed into something tangible super quickly. All right. So do we have any other questions or comments or concerns? All right. Well, I'm going to take that as a no. Well, I thank you all for joining today. We hope that you found this information session valuable. If there are any other AI tools that you're interested in knowing about, feel free to let us know via email or in the chat. And we'll be hosting a session every other Friday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. It's supposed to be, engaging, learn something new, and add it to your workflow if it works for you. Thank you all for joining. We appreciate having you. And we'll see you all on Friday. What's that? Today's the 7th. We'll see you on Friday, November 21st.